It's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek, and we've got a bit of Star Trek news today. It's about Star Trek First Contact, you know, that film from a million years ago. I don't know, 1996 I think it came out. So it's been out a while, but some interesting news which I didn't know. So here we go, there you go. Cher was considered for the Borg Queen in Star Trek First Contact. Star Trek First Contact found an amazing Borg Queen when it cast Alice Krieger. By the way, this is from redshirtsalwaysdie.com. As usual, all the links, well, the link will be in the description below. And don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, hit the notification bell, and follow me on my social medias. Right, where were we? Star Trek First Contact is by far the most successful Star Trek movie that involved the Next Generation cast, and it's probably the best one as well. It made an astonishing $146 million against a $45 million budget. Well, I presume it's dollars, it doesn't actually say. The film had everything it needed to succeed, an excellent plot, a director who knew what he was doing, Jonathan Frakes, and along with the original cast, a guest starring cast that could not have been more perfect, especially Alice Krieger as the Borg Queen. Is it Krieger? I've always pronounced it Krieg, or is it just Krieg? I say Krieg. Before final casting had occurred on the movie, though, other names were being bandied about for the Borg Queen. I love that word, bandied. One of which, according to Heroes and Icons, was Cher, who's previously taken home an Academy Award for her role in the 1988 film Moonstruck. Needless to say, it was understandable why she was on the radar for the casting director for First Contact. Star Trek First Contact would not have been the same without Alice Krieger. Although Cher was considered for the part, according to The Hollywood Reporter, First Contact makeup artist Scott Wheeler said the character would not have worked without Alice playing the role. That character would not have worked without Alice playing the role, he repeated. They were talking about Cher playing the role, and no offence to Cher, she's had some great moments, but it would have been so gimmicky, and I doubt she would have been willing to sit through the 4.5-hour makeup we were putting on Alice. I don't know, I think Cher's had a lot of face work done that probably took longer than 4.5 hours. Admittedly, she was probably anaesthetised at the time. I love Cher, she's brilliant. Wheeler went on to describe the moment everyone knew the Borg Queen had been born. When the lenses went in, obviously contact lenses, Alice looked in the mirror and you could see how the look all of a sudden informed her about the character. She changed her posture and her presence. She turned around. When she turned around, I kid you not, everyone gasped and stepped back. It was that moment when we went, okay, it works. The Borg Queen was born. While Cher would have made for an interesting choice for Captain Picard's nemesis, Krieg was not as well known and really took a bite out of the role. I mean, I knew her before. I'd seen her in a horror film from 1980 called Ghost Story, which I watch every Christmas. I usually watch Christmas horror films and ghost stories at Christmas because it's a tradition, isn't it? And there's one called Ghost Story, which I can't actually remember if it's set at Christmas, but it's set in winter because it's very snowy. And she plays the titular ghost in that film. And she plays a very good role. And she was also in Stephen King's Sleepwalkers, directed by Mick Garris in 1992, which it was an okay film. But the effects kind of let it down. They went a bit too much into the CG morphing effects, and it looks a bit dated now. But it's a good film. She plays a good baddie in that. And she's got lovely hair. Talk about the role. So much so that she returned to it several times, most recently in the Star Trek Lower Decks episode I Excretus. I hate Lower Decks. I've not seen it, not that episode, but I hate Lower Decks. But of course, she returned to the role in the Star Trek Voyager finale Endgame. Played the Borg Queen in that. Crikey. Excuse me. Sometimes things click, and in this instance, that's exactly what happened. I can't imagine anyone else as the Borg Queen in First Contact. Can you? Not really, she played a good part, but Cher had been good. I mean, she'd have been quite appropriate because they travelled back in time, didn't they? So she could have been, as the Borg, sort of like opened the chronoton opening thing, time travel portal, she could have gone, if I could turn back time, couldn't she? And it'd have been cool, and we'd have all laughed as the Borg travelled back in time with Cher singing her head off. But we didn't know about the Borg Queen when that happened, so I'm being silly. So there you go. So Cher, we're in the running to play the Borg Queen, and it'd have been interesting. It'd have been interesting. And I think she'd have done quite well, because she kind of looks artificial anyway, doesn't she? As I said, I love Cher. I love Gypsies, Tramps and Thieves. One of my favourite songs is that. And of course, If I Could Turn Back Time. And all the other ones. And they could have done a voice to make it sound like in that song, where she goes, that one. I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, so there we go. So we'll leave it there. A quick Star Trek aside. I don't know what's happening there. Is that the Cylons attacking us or something there? I don't know. Is that supposed to be loading the video? I don't know. By the way, speaking of Alice Krieg, I've met her a few times at conferences and conventions, and she's a lovely woman. And my son got a photo with her, which I will put there. Right, so we'll leave it there. So my son's appeared on the show, finally. Right, so thanks for watching, and wherever you are in the galaxy, in all the 4 quadrants of the Milky Way galaxy, look after each other, and until next time, I'll see thee.